Rickhouse and Jamie Bristow.
Check it out. They're going to give us a little love given down from the man, KVD.
It's a Strike King. It's called a Sexy Swimmer. It cost me about 15 bucks, but I like it so far. I caught that big bass yesterday on it, and in practice, I didn't want to hook him, but I did. I caught about a 7-pounder on it, but it's been producing quite a few fish for me over the tournament. So I throw it in areas like out in front of the grass, where like out in front of the grass like that right there, where it's about 3 or 4 foot deep. The only thing is when you get where there's hydrilla, you'll get hung up like that right there. But as long as you can keep it on top of that hydrilla, I think I've been getting them to come out of that hydrilla and hit it or something. But I caught that big one yesterday off that first point we went to today, but I guess all his buddies moved out. I think it's going to be a close one today because it's probably going to be pretty tough. Our main goal is just trying to get 5 fish. I've only fished 4 tournaments, and yesterday is the first time I've ever got a limit of fish. So first time for a limit of fish and being in first place is pretty overwhelming after one day. There he is.
There you go, don't lose him.
There we go.
Come on, friends, we want to see that one. We want to see that's a good one. Nice one from Friends University. Of course, our day 1 leaders. That could help their cause significantly here on day number 2. Looking good as we close the end of the fishing in our West Super Regional. When we return, one team at the day 2 weigh-in threatens cardiac arrest on us right here. Could that be LSU Shreveport? Hey, it could be the big one for them. But first, back on the water with UT Arlington, ready to break out the dance moves. You don't want to miss this.
Oh, for the ladies.
With that fish in the box. My fish in the box.
ESPN 2. Hey, that's a big one, dog. That's a big one, dog.
Giant. Giant. Hear me? Hear me? It's a good shot for big bass determined, dog. Love you, Mom and Dad.
If you want to get to the 2010 College Bass National Championship, you got to get on the road. You've got to hit one of the super regional qualifiers. If you want to make it to the big show, we're checking out one of those right now, the West Super Regional. There's the leaderboard halfway through this final day. Texas A&M with James and Day looking good, as is Friends University's Rickhouse and Bristow. Team that looked good on day number 1, struggling a bit on day 2, UT Arlington's team of Pinot and Cermak.
Hey, making all the right calls, though. Basically, we saw them fishing deep on day number 1, a little bit of frog fishing early in the morning. Right now, they're going to tell us, bud, it's time to fish some docks.
The beauty of this is a few things. One, you got tons of shade. At any period during the day, you've got shade somewhere close by. No matter where the sun moves, there's going to be shade somewhere. And the other thing is, you know there's fish here. Every local tournament that comes out of here releases their fish like right here. There's tons of fish here. And the third is, I don't think anybody's fishing here. I think everybody's so hung up on getting as far away from the ramp as they can.
Get this fish.
Bring him up, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up.
That is it!
Yeah!
Yes! That is it!
The hammer!
Golly!
Hook fell right out. Hook fell right out. It's a good 3-pounder, I'd say. Put that fish in the box. My fish in the box.
Oh, not so fast, Stephen Pinot. I ain't done with you yet, bud. That's right. Head down to your toes. Real slow this time, right? That's right, Mercury's up in the house,
Okay.
y'all.
Ordinarily, I'd say ask you to leave these guys alone, but I
apologize.
don't know if Mr. Pinot didn't just ask for it this time around. We'll leave him for a while. They did not have such a good day. Number 2, 22.29, drops them all the way down from 2nd to 13th place. Hey, a team that did well today, one of the 5 teams representing A&M, James and Day, rounding up in 3rd place and 2nd place. Friends University, our first day leaders, had a dead fish penalty that really hurt them, got them just under 30 pounds. Now let's find our winner, and let's go to last year's winner trying to defend LSU Shreveport.
You needed a big sack on day 2 to take the lead. How about this, Tyler? Hold it, 19.10 pounds. Your defending champions just busted a giant bag. Just a monster sack, biggest bag of the week for LSU Shreveport.
The coolest thing today was whenever Zach gets really excited, he screams like a little girl, and which is fine sometimes. And the biggest fish that I caught today, I was just trying to get her out of the grass, So anyways, he stick the net down in the water, and I was trying to flip the fish in the net, and literally as soon as the fish touched the net, the hook flew out. And then I was freaking out, thought the fish came off, and he threw the fish in the boat.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. You guys stand up here. They think Friends University won, but I was informed that the Friends University team had a dead fish, and that means that West Super Regional defending champions, Zach Caudle and Joe Landry, for the 2nd year in a row, they are your West Super Regional champions. What an unexpected surprise with 29.27 pounds by 6/100ths of a pound.
Caudle and Landry showing why they are the defending champs and stepping right back into that position.
Well, we said from yesterday and last night, we said if we do not catch 20 pounds, we won't even make top 5. But, we gave it a shot. We were running off of no sleep, and this is an unbelievable feeling. Hopefully we will go down in the record books in college bass. And, I forgot to tell my mom this, but the D that I made Friday on a test, I don't even care anymore. I don't even care.
Yeah, but we do, Tommy Sanders. One of the biggest comebacks we've ever seen in college bass fishing. Joe Landry's now going to take us inside the Plano Tournament tackle box.
I'm Joe Landry, representing LSU Shreveport, the former college bass 2010 Western Super Regional champions. And some of the 2 lures that we used here were the Zoom Fluke watermelon seed, and for early morning topwater bite, we would use, also made by Zoom, a white Zoom horny toad. The wind was very critical to our success in catching the fish. We were catching about a fish an hour, but it was the right bites. It was the bites that we needed. And we would just, every once in a while, we would put a nail weight in the end of the fluke just to help it sink down. And we were fishing hydrilla mats in about 12 feet of water or so. And it was just scattered hydrilla, and we were just pretty much drift fishing. And the wind was key because that's what was pushing the bait fish through.
Joe Landry along with Zach Caudle successfully defending. How tough is that? How strong is that? We're going to leave the West and head east for the East Super Regional, Montgomery, Alabama on the Alabama River. Get ready to see the SEC represented and more when we come back.
Here we go.
The road to the 2010 College Bass National Championship. We're focusing on the Super Regionals. We just finished up the West, and now we're going to the heart of the Southeast, Montgomery, Alabama. Here's a familiar sight there. Hey, that's Riverwalk Stadium, the baseball home of the Montgomery Biscuits, their famous minor league team there. Just a few feet from here is the playing field we're concentrating on, formed by the Coosa and Tallapoosa rivers, and running right through Montgomery is the world-famous Alabama River. We're looking forward to the action on the Alabama River for a lot of reasons. You and I pretty familiar with it, the Bassmaster Elite Series, which we work on. The pros wrap up their season, as a matter of fact, that wraps up their postseason play. It's a big 80-mile stretch of water with the Tallapoosa, Coosa rivers come together. A lot of fish in there. And a lot of challenges, though, right?
There is, and there's one major challenge here, and that number one thing here is current. And basically, what current is, it's a giant fan that just brings food to the bass. Well, the great thing about a situation like that is the bass are going to live shallow generally the entire year. They want to be shallow in that current. But when you have falling water, and that is what is going on here, when you have falling water, you can basically be a hero one day. You can knock their lights out and blank the next day. That's kind of the Jekyll and Hyde of the Alabama River.
Just one of the things that makes it a good test, trying to figure that out. For these guys, it's good for another reason, because they get tested on water that the pros use. And tell us a little bit about what goes on in the thoughts of a guy and what he has to do to make it from the college ranks into the pro ranks.
This is going to sound cliche, but I really mean this. And I would not have thought this until I've come to work and covered the Elite Series with you. The number one thing that a college kid needs, if he's going to be a Kevin Van Dam, a Skeet Reese, any of those top marketers, okay, if you're just going to be a bass fisherman, it doesn't apply to you. If you're going to be the top of this sport, finish school. Because every one of those guys, not only are they the best fishermen in the world, they are the best businessmen I have ever met.
All right. Well, you're going to be impressed with these guys. And since we're in Alabama, on the Alabama River, let's roll tide, get out there with the University of Alabama. As a matter of fact, this being Alabama, such a bass fishing crazy state, the University of Alabama represented by multiple teams in this East Super Regional. Here's one right here. Kyle Worsham, Dalton Wilson, starting their day, trying to load up on a few of those Coosa River spots that make their way into the Alabama River. Dalton Wilson, one of many of our anglers thinking about a pro career.
Well, I started out doing the Junior Bass Masters, and so I went to 2 of the World Championships on that, where they'd set us up with the elites that hadn't made it for the qualifications. That's the only reason I moved to Alabama from Missouri, is just kind of, you know, if you want to be a singer, you move to Nashville. If you want to try to go pro in fishing, you move to Alabama. Fish. Good fish, I think. Yeah, good spot. There we go. Ain't great, but he'll keep.
Hey, that's 3. How many times did he hit that?
He hit that about 6 times before he finally sucked it in.
Well, there you go. There's a limit for Alabama, but guys, you are in a body of water. You are going to need bigger ones throughout this event. But let's go to RC5's home, EKU.
Oh, that's right.
Kyle